You know the origins of Gengar?
No.
It gets dark.
The Wentworth Bros.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMNT TV with your host Donatello, along with...
Mikey.
You know, I didn't even want to be Donatello. Donatello's like one of the worst Ninja Turtles.
No. I love Donatello just because of the color. I like purple the best out of all of them. Mikey's the coolest.
Yeah, that's not fair to Donatello, because I like Donatello, the personality. Just his weapon, the bow staff, is easily the worst of the four.
It's the worst, but like, it's cool that he just uses just a stick.
Yeah, that is true, because he's so smart.
Yeah. You should have dressed up as like Master Splinter.
You know what's crazy is that he has to give weapons to the turtles for combat, but he never uses any weapons, does he?
Oh yeah, that's true. He has nothing but his hands. He's just a hand-to-hand combat kind of guy.
Claw-to-claw combat, I guess for him. I always found it so weird that Master Splinter is always portrayed as this caring yet stern father figure to the Ninja Turtles, but there's some dark reasoning for why he trained the Ninja Turtles.
What is it?
You would think that he trained them in ninjutsu to live in the shadows and not get caught by humans, and for self-defense if they do get caught by enemies, but he has revenge on his mind.
Revenge for what?
Shredder ended up killing Splinter's old master.
Oh yeah.
And so he's training the Ninja Turtles to take out Shredder because he wasn't able to do it on his own.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the well-being of the turtles like he pretends to.
Well, Shredder wasn't his master.
No, I know. Shredder killed Splinter's master. And so that's why he's so vengeful towards him, that he trained these four turtles just to kill him and get his revenge.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you know the Ninja Turtles weren't even called the Ninja Turtles at one point?
It's a weird thing to come up with. Ninja Turtles? Like, must have been on some hard drugs.
What? What do you mean?
A Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy concept.
Well, in the UK, it was considered a crazy concept. Because in the UK, they didn't allow for the word ninja to appear on children's programming. So in the UK, they were called the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Because they wouldn't allow ninja on their TV.
Really?
They even took away Mikey's nunchucks. Because nunchucks aren't allowed on TV suitable for children or people under 18. Because they're too violent.
It's kind of ridiculous.
I know, and then they dulled down the rest of the Ninja Turtles' weapons. So if you go back to the original TV show, the UK version, you'll see they're called the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. And Mikey just has a bland, like, stick for a weapon instead of nunchucks.
Oh, like Donatello?
Essentially, just shorter.
All right, it's everyone's favorite time. We're getting into the dark theories for Halloween. Spooky time.
Yeah, we gotta start it off with the scariest character in all of SpongeBob, the hash-slinging slasher.
Ooh.
This one's not as dark as it seems.
Oh, bummer.
That was probably the scariest episode as a kid, but the ending just didn't make sense to me. Because they're working the night shift. It's midnight, and the hash-slinging slasher is revealed to just be a guy applying for a job.
Total bummer.
He traveled through bus at midnight to apply for a job. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, why are those buses running so late?
It didn't make sense to me until I realized he had a reason for coming at night. It's because that fish is from Rock Bottom.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah, in one of the episodes that they travel to Rock Bottom, you can see him. And at Rock Bottom, they don't get any sunlight from above that they get in Bikini Bottom. So he can only travel to Bikini Bottom at night. So he has to take the Rock Bottom bus to the Krusty Krab at night to apply for the night position at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah, the night shift.
At night.
You know, the whole episode of Rock Bottom is based around depression.
Rock Bottom, that saying?
Yeah. That's where they got it from. SpongeBob and Patrick get lost, and they get, like, detoured into Rock Bottom, where they experience this new town, and this whole town is just, like, spooky and filled with anxiety.
Yeah, the vibes are definitely off.
You see the complete shift in Patrick and SpongeBob's mood. Like, happiness goes to die there. And SpongeBob ends up alone in darkness when Patrick gets a ride back. but SpongeBob can't catch it in time. And SpongeBob is meeting all these people, and they're just like horribly mean to him, like he's out on the streets of New York, just filled with anger and depression. But all it took to bring SpongeBob out of rock bottom from that disgusting place of depression was this one little angelfish that helps him inflate a balloon and brings him back up to rock bottom, bringing him out of depression. Just that one small little act of kindness. It's crazy that SpongeBob would make an entire episode dedicated to coming out of depression.
Well, they were able to tell it well about the physical place of rock bottom to represent the mental place of rock bottom.
And how to get out of it is through others bringing you out.
Yeah, I never understood what rock bottom meant until later. I was just scared of that episode.
Yeah, that was probably one of the scariest episodes in SpongeBob.
SpongeBob was bold with a lot of the stuff they did. There was one episode that left me scarred, and it made me realize the scariest character in SpongeBob is SpongeBob.
He is a little on the crazy side, I'll give you that.
So in the episode Scaredy Pants, SpongeBob is getting scared by everything, left and right. And Mr. Krabs and Squidward play a prank where Squidward dresses as a Flying Dutchman and scares SpongeBob. And SpongeBob's had enough. He wants to be the scarer, not the scary. So he dresses up as a ghost and tries to scare people, but he can't. And he says it's because he's square and ghosts are round. So Patrick helps him out, and he shaves him down so he can be round. And then SpongeBob goes on and he tries to scare people. And there's a Krusty Krab party where SpongeBob actually scares people until the Flying Dutchman shows up. And he's pissed because SpongeBob and all these other people are impersonating him, and it's offensive.
The Flying Dutchman.
He says he's gonna steal SpongeBob's soul, and he rips off his costume. And SpongeBob looks horrifying. The Flying Dutchman screams and flies away. All the fish scream and run away. And SpongeBob, it's revealed when Patrick shaved him down, he shaved him down to his brain.
Oh.
So it was just SpongeBob's eyes and brain bulging out under that ghost costume.
Jeez.
It's the scariest image I've ever seen.
Well, I guess Sponge does grow back.
Yeah, he does assure Patrick that he'll go back to normal eventually.
I'm surprised the Flying Dutchman got scared, though.
I think that episode was actually the first appearance he had on SpongeBob. Like his first physical appearance.
Was it? I thought it was the treasure map.
No, that comes later on. But in every appearance, the Flying Dutchman's sole goal is to collect souls.
It's his main mission?
Yeah, he's got a bag of souls that he collects.
Oh, he gives them to Davy Jones.
He oversees Davy Jones' locker. And in the show, it's portrayed as a gym locker. But Davy Jones' locker has always been a saying for centuries. And it means the bottom of the sea, where sailors drown to their death.
Right, yeah.
They go to Davy Jones' locker. So as the overseer of Davy Jones' locker and the collector of souls, the Flying Dutchman is actually the guide to the afterlife for fallen sailors.
Except the bad afterlife.
Yeah. The one no one wants to go to.
Davy Jones' locker is like its own entity, supposedly.
Is it?
Yeah. It like moves and like it supposedly has like an essence to it in one episode.
Well, that makes sense because it's holding all of the lives of the fallen sailors.
Yeah, probably trying to get out.
Yeah. And what makes the Flying Dutchman even scarier is that his voice actor was actually born on Halloween.
Really? I wonder if that's just a coincidence.
It is weird. He plays a ghost. But since we are on the topic of ghosts and it is Halloween, I got a bit of a doozy for you with this theory.
What's it about?
Bowser is actually King Boo.
King Boo?
King Boo controls Bowser's body. Because in the first Mario game, Mario kills Bowser when he saves Princess Peach.
Kills him?
He falls into the lava pit and he dies.
That's true, yeah.
And in Luigi's Mansion, King Boo takes over Bowser's body at one point to try to fight off Luigi. So it's proven he can control that body. And Bowser is dying left and right in these Mario games. How does he keep coming back to life?
Maybe he's immune to lava.
Or he's possessed by a ghost named King Boo. And in the first Mario game, there are no Boos. But in all of the following Mario games, Boos are a part of the Koopa Troop. And they're also under King Boo's control.
So they invaded Bowser's minions and they took over.
Because King Boo is Bowser. So obviously the Boos are going to help Bowser out when Bowser is King Boo.
The Boos are in charge now. That would make a good plot for Super Mario Movie 2, now that I think of it.
I don't think they would ever kill off Bowser in the movie, though.
He'll still be alive in a way.
Yeah, but they always lighten up the plot for the movies. Like with Peter Pan in the Disney movie, they made that super light when it was really super dark. And they did that for like a lot of Disney movies.
Yeah, it's got to be for kids, so.
The original Cinderella story is so much darker than the movie.
I would imagine.
It follows the same plot lines, but when the prince finds the glass slipper, it's actually a gold slipper in this version, and he's trying to see who it fits. The stepsisters, one cuts off her toe to try to fit into the slipper, and the other one cuts off her own heel just to try to fit into this slipper to impress the prince.
Why don't they do that, like, Japanese foot shrinking technique?
Ugh.
Where they wrap it since they're a baby.
And that's not even the end of the torment these sisters go through. When the prince eventually finds Cinderella and they get married, the sisters are bridesmaids, and when they celebrate, the doves go to peck out the eyes of the stepsisters. And that's how the story ends, as they're celebrating while the sisters are getting their eyes pecked out.
Jeez.
Just absolute torture and torment.
You should put that in, like, the live action whenever they do it.
Ugh.
Alright, I got some Pokemon theories, some dark ones, for the spirit of Halloween today.
Let's hear it.
Do you know about Lavender Town syndrome?
What is that?
Back in the day, when they made the first Pokemon games in Japan, the first released games had a sound in it during the Lavender Town theme that only children and young kids could hear. Like, the tones and notes were only accessible to the kids and children. And when that game came out, that first release, there was this giant spike in suicide rates amongst all the kids.
What in the world?
In Japan.
Is this some kind of brainwashing technique?
I don't know about brainwashing, but they're saying there could be a link that those sounds that the kids were hearing messed with their brain chemistry and caused them to, like, end it.
That was only in the Japanese version?
Yeah, only in, like, the very original release version.
Yeah, they had to change that up real quick.
Right, there was, like, a huge protest, like, getting people, there was, like, a huge outrage, so Nintendo had to change the wide release.
I'm shocked Pokemon survived that.
I mean, who cares? Well, it was just a theory. No one was able to link it.
Correlation, not causation.
Yeah. That theme goes hard, though.
That is a banger.
You know the origins of Gengar?
No.
It gets dark.
Well, I'd at least expect that much.
Gengars are dead Clefables.
What?
Look at their body shape and their ears and their hair. It is identical to Clefable. So when a Clefable dies, out of the shadow of the Clefable, because they're a shadow Pokemon, comes a Ghastly. And when it becomes fully evolved into Gengar, it looks exactly like the Clefable.
So the Ghastly is just the shadow being reborn as a new soul almost?
Right, it's the ghost of Clefable out of his shadow.
I can kind of see that. They do have the same body type.
And what makes it make even more sense is that Clefairy was supposed to be the original mascot for Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be Pikachu. Because in the manga, Red's first Pokemon is Clefairy, not Pikachu.
That is blowing my mind. I can't even imagine that.
But in the anime, they decided to change it up because Clefairy was too feminine looking, the features. So they went for a more gender-neutral approach with Pikachu. And so since Clefairy and Clefable were like some of the original, maybe the original Pokemon designs, they used that model for Gengar versus having like a Pikachu and Raichu ghost Pokemon. And they even decided now to make a Pikachu ghost Pokemon, Mimikyu. So it kind of holds weight to that theory. Another crazy one is Voltorb. Do you know the origins of Voltorb?
Is he just a Pokeball?
Voltorb is Haunter.
How does that make sense?
Because Haunter has the ability to possess other creatures and beings and objects.
Oh, I see where this is going.
So Haunter took possession of a Pokeball. That's why eyes formed on it that look similar to Haunter's.
Played the reverse Uno card. Instead of the Pokeball catching him, he caught the Pokeball.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. They both have the exact same angular eyes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Do you know how Koffing was made?
No.
Team Rocket created Koffing.
He is a Team Rocket Pokemon.
Think about it. In Gen 1, the only places you can find Koffing and Wheezing are in the Pokemon Mansion. Along with what other Pokemon?
I don't know.
Ditto!
Oh, the creation.
The created Pokemon. Because in that mansion was a Team Rocket laboratory that created all sorts of things. And the leftovers of this abandoned mansion are just the failed experiments. Koffing, Wheezing, Ditto.
Yeah, Koffing definitely looks like a failed experiment.
All these Pokemon. They were trying to create like a ghost Pokemon and it failed and backfired. And they got this weird looking Koffing thing with the death symbol on it that looks similar to Team Rocket's. That's why James always has them. All the Team Rocket members got them. The skull and crossbones on its like chest, I guess you could call it. It's very like not natural.
All right, it's like a stamp saying that this experiment isn't approved.
Yeah,
And dangerous.
a failure.
Now, if we're talking failed experiments, there's one that tops them all.
Who is it?
The scariest character in all of Sonic is the Tails doll.
What doll?
So, Sonic and Knuckles have metal versions of themselves created by Dr. Robotnik. But for Tails, he created a little soft, plushy Tails doll. And the goal of this was to get Sonic and his crew's guard down with a gift for them to keep around, and it would gather information and be a spy for Eggman.
Oh, like a decoy.
Right. But it gathered too much information. So much so that it became sentient. A being with its own thoughts.
Became aware.
That's right. And so it became this demonic doll that wanted to destroy Tails because it viewed Tails as a lesser version of itself. And it wanted to destroy Eggman because it was its creator that gave him so much knowledge, but no feelings.
Oh, man.
So he was taking down the entire crew, good and bad.
Did they ever stop him, though?
Well, you can't, because you can't kill a doll.
Oh, yeah.
It makes him the scariest and most powerful character in all of Sonic, the Tails doll.
Shadow can stop him. Happy Halloween!